Should we have the right to die? A deep dive into assisted dying, dignity, and choice. Imagine being told that your illness is incurable. Not only incurable, but progressive, with more and more pain as each day passes. Every month you lose a little more of yourself. Your ability to walk, your ability to speak, your independence, your dignity, your future. Now imagine that doctors tell you there is nothing more they can do to stop it. Would you want the right to decide how your story ends? Today we're tackling one of the most controversial and emotionally charged subjects in modern society. Should men have the right to die under certain circumstances? This isn't a discussion about suicide caused by depression, loneliness, financial problems, or temporary despair. This is about assisted dying for mentally competent adults facing terminal illness or unbearable suffering with no hope of recovery. Some believe allowing people to choose a peaceful death is an act of compassion. Others believe legalizing assisted dying creates dangerous moral and social risks. This video will explore both sides of the debate while examining why many people believe men should have the right to die under carefully controlled circumstances. Let's get into it. 1. The fear of losing control. For many men, identity is deeply connected to independence. Throughout history, men have often been expected to protect, provide, solve problems, and remain self-reliant. Whether those expectations are fair or not, they remain powerful. Many men derive meaning from supporting their families, working, making decisions, remaining physically capable, maintaining personal independence. A terminal illness can strip all of that away. A man who once climbed mountains may eventually need help getting out of bed. A father who once guided his children may eventually struggle to remember their names. A husband who spent decades caring for his family may become completely dependent upon them. For some, the loss of control becomes more frightening than death itself. Supporters of assisted dying argue that allowing a person to make one final decision about their own life preserves a fundamental human right, autonomy. The right to decide what happens to your own body. The right to decide how much suffering you are willing to endure. The right to determine your final chapter. 2. David's story. Let's consider a fictional example. David is 67 years old. He spent 40 years working as an engineer. He raised 2 children. He paid his taxes. He cared for his wife through her own battle with illness. Then David receives devastating news. He has a progressive neurological disease. Doctors explain there is no cure. The disease will slowly rob him of movement, speech, independence, eventually even basic functions. At first, David fights. He undergoes treatment. He attends every appointment. He follows every medical recommendation. But over time, the disease progresses exactly as predicted. Years later, David can no longer walk. His speech is becoming difficult to understand. His future consists of further deterioration. Nothing else. He remains mentally sharp. He understands exactly what lies ahead. David decides he does not want to experience the final stages of the disease. Supporters argue that a man like David should have the right to choose a peaceful and medically supervised death. Not because he is giving up, not because he lacks courage, but because he has carefully and rationally decided that the suffering ahead offers him no meaningful quality of life. 3. The difference between wanting to die and wanting suffering to end. This distinction is incredibly important. Most people experiencing suicidal thoughts are dealing with situations that can potentially improve. Depression can be treated. Trauma can heal. Financial problems can be solved. Relationships can recover. Life circumstances can change. That is why suicide prevention is so important. Assisted dying debates focus on a completely different situation. A terminal illness cannot always be cured. An irreversible degenerative disease may never improve. The suffering may only increase. Supporters argue that these situations should not be treated as identical. Someone experiencing temporary despair needs support, treatment, and hope. Someone facing unavoidable decline may be making a fundamentally different decision. Many advocates believe society can simultaneously support suicide prevention while also respecting carefully regulated assisted dying laws. 4. The dignity argument. One of the strongest arguments in favor of assisted dying is dignity. Many terminally ill patients fear losing bodily control, mobility, communication, privacy, independence. For some people, living is not simply about existing. It is about maintaining a certain quality of life. Critics sometimes respond that dignity exists regardless of disability or illness. Many disabled people live meaningful and fulfilling lives. This is an important point. However, supporters argue that dignity is also personal. What one individual finds acceptable, another may not. A person who values independence above all else may reach a different conclusion than someone whose priorities are different. The argument is not that disabled lives have less value. The argument is that competent adults should be allowed to decide for themselves where their personal limits lie.
5.
The family perspective. Terminal illness rarely affects only the patient. Families suffer too. Spouses become full-time carers. Children witness decline. Savings disappear. Homes become medical environments. Many men worry less about themselves and more about those they love. Some fear becoming a burden. Others simply do not want their family's final memories to consist of prolonged suffering. Supporters argue that a peaceful and planned death can sometimes allow families to say goodbye properly, to express love, to achieve closure, to create final memories that are defined by dignity rather than trauma. However, critics warn that no one should ever feel pressured to choose death for the sake of others. This is one reason why strong safeguards are essential. 6. The opposition. Not everyone agrees with assisted dying. Many thoughtful and compassionate people oppose it. Their concerns are serious. They worry about vulnerable individuals being pressured into decisions. They worry about mistakes. They worry about society slowly expanding eligibility criteria. They worry about creating a culture where some lives are viewed as less worth living. These concerns cannot simply be dismissed. History teaches us that laws involving life and death require extraordinary caution. Any legal framework would need strict protections, multiple medical opinions, mental capacity assessments, waiting periods, independent oversight, protection against coercion. Supporters acknowledge these risks but argue that they can be managed through careful regulation.
7.
Conclusion. The debate over assisted dying is not really about death. It is about freedom. It is about dignity. It is about compassion. And it is about how society responds when medicine reaches its limits. For supporters, the issue is simple. A mentally competent adult facing terminal illness and unbearable suffering should have the right to decide how their life ends. For opponents, the risks are too great. The possibility of abuse, pressure, or unintended consequences makes legalization dangerous. Wherever you stand on this issue, one thing is certain. There are no easy answers. The question forces us to examine what it means to live well, suffer well, and ultimately die well, on our own terms. And perhaps the most important question of all, who should have the final say when a person faces unavoidable death? The individual? The family? The doctors? Or the state? We all have the right to live. Should we have the right to die also, based on individual circumstances? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. This is our 100th video posted today, and as always, thank you for watching, thank you for your continued support, and see you next time.